The Staring Doll. In the quiet town of Ravenswood, nestled deep in the heart of the countryside, there was a quaint antique shop known as Evelyn's Emporium. The shop was a treasure trove of forgotten relics, each one with a story to tell. But there was one item that held a dark secret: the Staring Doll. The doll was unlike any other in Evelyn's collection. Its porcelain face bore a hauntingly lifelike expression, with glassy blue eyes that seemed to follow you wherever you went. It had been tucked away in the shop's dimly lit corner, hidden beneath a dusty shroud, for as long as anyone could remember. Evelyn, the shop's elderly owner, had inherited the doll from her late grandmother, who had warned her never to remove the shroud. But curiosity has a way of getting the best of people, and on one particularly gloomy evening, Evelyn's resolve crumbled. As the rain drummed against the windows and thunder rumbled in the distance, Evelyn decided to uncover the doll. She reached for the shroud and slowly lifted it away, revealing the doll's eerie countenance. The doll's glassy eyes seemed to pierce Evelyn's soul. A shiver ran down her spine, but she dismissed it as mere superstition. However, as the night grew darker and the storm raged on, Evelyn couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. Days turned into weeks, and Evelyn's unease only deepened. The doll's gaze haunted her every waking moment, and she found herself avoiding the corner of the shop where it resided. She tried to confide in her friends about her growing paranoia, but they laughed it off as mere imagination. One night, as Evelyn lay in bed, she heard a soft, rhythmic tapping coming from the shop below. She dismissed it as a trick of the wind, but when the tapping persisted, she knew she had to investigate. With a lantern in hand, Evelyn descended the creaking wooden stairs into the dark shop. The tapping grew louder, guiding her like a sinister lullaby. She followed the sound until it led her to the Staring Doll. To her horror, the doll had moved. Its porcelain hands, once neatly folded in its lap, now reached out toward her. Its glass eyes glittered with malevolence, and its lips curved into a twisted smile. Evelyn's heart pounded in her chest as she watched the doll rise from its seat and advance toward her. She wanted to scream, to run, but her feet were rooted to the spot. The doll's tiny porcelain fingers closed around her throat, and it began to squeeze. In her final moments, as darkness closed in, Evelyn realized the terrible truth. The doll was not just a lifeless object. It was a vessel for the vengeful spirit of her grandmother, who had been trapped within it for years. As the first rays of dawn broke through the shop's windows, the doll released its grip, and Evelyn's lifeless body crumpled to the floor. The Staring Doll returned to its corner, its glass eyes once again fixed in their haunting stare. The townsfolk of Ravenswood discovered the gruesome scene the next morning. The doll, now covered by the shroud once more, sat innocently in the corner. Evelyn's death remained a mystery to all but those who knew the story of the cursed doll. Evelyn's Emporium was closed, and the antique shop became a place of dread for the townsfolk, who whispered about the malevolent doll and the tormented spirit it housed. The Staring Doll became a legend, a cautionary tale passed down through generations, a reminder that some objects, no matter how innocent they may seem, can carry dark and vengeful secrets. And so, the legend of the Staring Doll lived on, a chilling tale of curiosity, consequences, and the unrelenting gaze of the supernatural